So your chapter review is at the end of your chapter, and it kind of reminds you of what you're doing. This first part is exponential functions, where we did y equals ab to the x. You have been given two sets of xy's. You plug in an xy, solve for a in terms of a, plug in the xy, solve it in terms of a, and then set them equal to each other to solve for b. And then this is where we talked about growth and decay. Growth when b is between 0, and when b is bigger than 1, and decay when it is between 0 and 1. We also did continuously compounding in the next section of your book. That's PERT. That's technically the same equation as what you're working on with the first section. Y equals AB to the x. That's A equals PE to the RT. That's the same equation. We just have filled in some stuff for it. And this is where we did interest rate and everything like that. And then we introduced logarithmic functions, common log, base 10, and just basic logarithmics, rewriting it back. We did expansion of logarithms, condensing of logarithms with our rules in section 4. We did exponential equations when the variable was in the exponent. And we solved those back and forth using exponents and logs. And then the last thing we did were natural log functions. And so those pages in your book will give you kind of an overview and will tell you where to go back in your book to find them. So if you look at the test review, we'll do a couple of those. All right, so for this one, we are going to use our y equals ab to the x, right? And so we're going to plug it in. We'll say 6 equals ab to the negative 1. And then we'll say 12 equals ab to the negative 2. Okay? And so if I'm solving for a, on the left-hand side, a is going to equal 6 over b to the negative 1. We'll fix that, all right? And then over here, we would say that a equals 12 over b to the negative 2. And so if I were to rewrite this one here on the left-hand side, what is 6 over b to the negative 1? 6b. And 12b squared. Yes? And so if I'm solving here, I could set those equal to each other. 6b equals 12b squared, right? And then how do I solve that?
Divide by 12. Divide by 6. Or squared.
So you could divide by 12 to get that guy over there, right?
Divide by b.
All right, so that's going to be 1/2. And you could divide by b. B equals 1/2, right? Once I have b, I'm going to go back to either one of these. So 6 equals a 1/2 to the negative 1. 1/2 to the negative 1 is just 2. And so my final equation, I'm going to plug it in. Y equals 3 times 1/2 to the x. So here we go. We're going to condense using the subtraction. ln of 7 divided by negative 5x equals 5. My base for ln is e. Base cancels out base. You have to use whatever base you're talking about. In this case, base e. My bases cancel on the left. I have this. On the right, I have e to the 5th, which is a number. Now remember, when what you're solving for is on bottom, you can reciprocate both sides. So this is the same thing as negative 5 over 7x equals 1 over e to the 5th. And then you can multiply both sides by that negative 7/5. So in your calculator, you can really say negative 7 divided by e to the 5th times 5.
Same equation as that.
Have you not voiced that yet? Or are you?
The answer to this is the same kind of equation.
You'll still use A equals P e to the RT. You're going to plug in what your investment is. So you'll say 68.31. This is your final amount. So 34,517.66. E to the R. That's your rate. T. And then you're just going to solve like you would those problems. You're going to divide by the 68.31. So you'll have 34,517.66 divided by 68.31, e to the 0.09 t. Base cancels out base, so ln, right? And so that cancels, and on this side you have this big thing, but you can do all of this in your calculator at the very end. And now we just have the 0.09 times t. So your final answer is going to be dividing that by 0.09. And you can do all of this in your calculator. Natural log of open parentheses divided by 0.09.